Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? Everybody having a good day? If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I believe we are okay with the volume and the audio. And we are ready to begin. Hello, Emma, Mark, Marta, Renee, Emin, Terry. Granny's here. Where's Granny? I used to call my grandmother Gran. Actually, I call my grandmother Gran. What do you guys call your grandparents? A lot of people have different names. Grandma, grandmother, abuela. I called her Gran. Okay, so we're talking about the contracts today. Contracts. Oh, did I just lose something today? Oh. Let me get back here. Oh, there it is. Good. What are the 4 essentials of a valid contract? Who knows? What are the 4 essentials of a valid contract? Fang Wu, hello. Who can tell me what the 4 essentials are of a valid contract? So Carly says competent parties. Lisa says mutual agreement, lawful object, consideration, and capable parties. Mutual agreement could also be phrased as offer and acceptance or meeting of the minds. So you got mutual agreement, consideration, lawful object, and capable parties. So you got mutual agreement, lawful object, consideration, and capable parties. Has everybody got that? Is writing an essential of a valid contract? Is writing an essential of a valid contract? What do you guys think? No. If a contract needs to be in writing, but it is not in writing, what does that make the status of that contract? What do you guys think? If a contract needs to be in writing, but it's not in writing, what does that make the status of that contract? Unenforceable. Nice job, Terry Davis. It makes it unenforceable. It does not make it void or voidable, anything like that. It makes it unenforceable. Why is it not void? Why is it unenforceable and not void? What do you guys think? Why is it unenforceable and not void? What do you guys think? Why is it unenforceable and not void? Bridget says because it had all the essential elements when created. Nice job, Bridget. Way to step up. Where are you from, Bridget? We all want to know. Where is Bridget from? Okay, so that is correct. Bridget nailed it because it has the 4 essentials of a valid contract. It has the 4 essentials of a valid contract. Okay, that's why. It still has the mutual consent, consideration, offer and acceptance, and capable parties. From New York, living in Atlanta. Sounds good. Okay, good job, everybody. If it doesn't have one of those 4 essentials, what does it make the status of that contract? What do you guys think? If a contract is lacking one of those 4 essentials, what does that do to the status of the contract? What do you guys think? It makes it void. Void. Good. If I'm threatening you to sign a contract, saying you better sign that contract or else it's big trouble for you, you're going to get it if you don't sign this contract. What is the status of the contract now? What do you guys think? That makes it void. Double, because you're under duress. You're under duress. Why does that not make it void? If I'm sitting here threatening you and saying horrible things to you and being a horrible person, why does that not make it void? What do you guys think? Because you still have the option to go through with it. Because you still have the option to go through with it. Excellent job, everybody. That is why. Whew. I had a dog trainer today come in to help with my dogs. And they said to me, they looked me right in the eye and said, for your dog to be successful, it needs 3 things. Love, it needs exercise, and discipline. And the whole time when she said that, I was like, are you talking to me? I feel like I need those 3 things. Love, exercise, and discipline. Anyway, just my little tangent. Made me realize that everything I use to train my dog, I should probably be doing myself. Okay, here we go. I don't know why I felt insecure when she said that to me. I was like, I get love, I do exercise, I have discipline. Why are you looking at me like that? Okay, anyway, when is a contract said to be discharged? A, once all of its terms and conditions have been met. B, when most of its basic terms have been accomplished. C, when the contract is in dispute. Or D, when there are further actions to be taken. And the answer is A, once all of its terms and conditions have been met. Monies, labors, supplies, or other consideration given by a landlord to a tenant to construct the premise for occupancy would be called A, earnest money, B, interim occupancy agreement, C, security deposit, or D, tenant improvement allowances. What do you guys think? The answer is D, tenant improvement allowances. Nicole Farinacci, you're automatically my favorite person because your profile picture is a picture of a dog. I think that's wonderful. Okay, moving right along. Do we all know what tenant improvement allowances are? What are tenant improvement allowances? What are tenant improvement allowances? So basically that means when a landlord rents the property out, somebody like a dentist, for example, then the dentist has a certain amount of money to turn it into a dentist office because obviously the landlord doesn't know what the dentist needs. Maybe not the best example, but you get the point. It's the amount of money that's allocated so the person can do things that are specific to them. The duration of a listing agreement is A, 3 months, B, whatever is negotiated between the broker and the seller, C, 90 days, D, whatever is negotiated between the agent and the seller. Thank you, Lisa. That is good feedback. And the answer is B, whatever is negotiated between the broker and the seller. Mr. Seller signs an open listing on his home with 5 different brokers. In this case, A, the owner must pay the first broker to the listing no matter who sells it. B, the owner must pay a full commission to all 5 brokers when it sells. C, each broker has an opportunity to earn the entire commission. Or D, the broker will split the commission 5 ways regardless of who sells it. And the answer is C, each broker has an opportunity to earn the entire commission. That's right, Agent said you got to help us get to our Instagram goals of 10,000 subscribers. When we do that, I'm getting a new pair of shoes in PrepAgent colors, which is like dark blue, like a not as dark of a blue, and like white. Really not the most exciting colors in the world. Adrian, what would you call our colors? To assign a contract for the sale of real estate means to A, allow the seller and the buyer to exchange positions. B, permit another broker to act as an agent for the principal. C, transfers one rights under the contract. Or D, record the contract with the county recorder's office. Solid blue and true blue. Thanks, Diana. Transfers one rights under the contract. Which of the following requires real estate listings to be in writing? A, Department of Real Estate. B, CAR. C, Statute of Frauds. Or D, Statute of Limitations. Statute of Frauds. And what are the Statute of Frauds, everybody? Everybody tell me, what are the Statute of Frauds? Statute of Frauds states what must be in writing. Statute of Limitations states the time limit. Which of the following is not a type of listing contract? A, exclusive right to sell. B, exclusive agency. C, open listing. Or D, MLS contract. And they're not referring to being a professional soccer player. Ba-dum-bum. I guess it could be a professional soccer player contract. It would still be the answer. An MLS contract. The other ones are type of listings. They're types of listings. MLS is a database of properties that are available for sale. Under influence or duress applied to one party to a contract makes the contract A, unenforceable, B, void, C, invalid, or D, voidable. What do you guys think? We spoke about this when we started the webinar today. The answer is voidable. So can I get your feedback for a second, guys? Adrian and I have been getting a lot of notes on Instagram and through our YouTube channel asking us where they can find programs to help them study, meaning they don't realize that PrepAgent.com has a website that does things like these webinars that you guys are doing now. Is it not obvious on our Instagram that we have the website PrepAgent.com, and on our YouTube channel we have the website PrepAgent.com? Because I don't know about you guys, but I get super annoyed when people ask me that, because it feels like somebody's walking into McDonald's and saying, where can I buy a hamburger? Anybody know? That's what it feels like when on our Instagram they write to us and say, where could I find study material? Can you recommend where we can find practice questions and webinars? It drives us nuts. Is it just us, or do we have a right to go crazy with that? Thanks, Natalie. All right, so it's not just us. Adrian, you hear that? It's not just us. Okay. If the owners of a shopping center want a major department store's lease to provide rental payments that reflect the store's sales, they are most likely to use which of the following types of leases? A percentage, B, a flat fee, C, net, or D, gross. Rachel Ford says Darwinism. Good one, Rachel. Somebody just asked me about the one-on-ones, but so I don't do the one-on-one sessions anymore. I stopped doing those years ago because I couldn't help as many people as I do now. As you see on this webinar, we have almost 100 people here. Whereas with the one-on-ones, I can only help persons, well, literally one-on-one, so it's one person. So we went to the webinar format so we could help people, because in the one-on-one sessions, it was one time, and then I never spoke to them again. Whereas this, people could come back again and again, and I got to help a lot more people. So we stopped doing those one-on-ones years ago. Okay, as for the one on the board, the answer is a percentage lease. Okay? So you have different types of leases. What is a percentage lease? What is a percentage lease? And Sandra, the webinars are typically 35 minutes long, give or take. Okay, percentage lease is when you're paying based upon the gross receipts, based upon the money coming in. What is a net lease? What is a net lease? What is a net lease? What do you guys think? What is the net lease? A net lease is when you are paying for things like taxes, insurance, and maintenance. And a gross lease, what's a gross lease? What is a gross lease? So a gross lease is when you're paying a set amount. So basically, a gross lease and a flat fee, like you see on the board, are the same thing. They're the same thing. One week after entering into an exclusive authorization and rights to sell listing, the owner dies. His designated administrator decides not to sell the property. In this case, A, the administrator must sell for the 90-day listing period. B, the owner's estate will be liable for the commission. C, the owner's heirs will be liable for the commission. Or D, the owner's death terminating the listing contract. Did some more exercise today, guys. As you've been in the webinars, I started exercising like 2 weeks ago. I haven't stopped. 2 weeks, consistently been exercising. Watch out, Brad Pitt. A new set of abs are coming your way. Challenge offered. Ready to be accepted. Okay, here we go. What is an executed contract? A contract that is dead in the water. B, a contract in which all parties fulfill their promises and perform the contract. C, a contract terminated by either party. D, a contract that has been terminated by both the listing agent and the homeowner. And the answer is B. A contract in which all parties fulfill their promises and perform the contract. Thanks, Rose. Rose Z just made my day with that nice words and the little 4-leaf clover. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover that I've never seen before. Okay, next question. None of the following would be automatically terminated in offers by real property except A, rejection of the offer by the offeror, B, an inquiry by the offeree as to whether the offeror will accept different terms, C, revocation by the offer by the offeree, or D, rejection by the offer by the offeree. Say that 10 times. What do you guys think? D, rejection of the offer by the offeree. Okay, so remember, offeree receives the offer, offeror gives the offer. So therefore, what is a counteroffer? Who knows? Give me a counteroffer by using the OREE rule. Tell me what a counteroffer is. Come on, guys, you could do it. A counteroffer is when the offeree becomes the offeror. The counteroffer is when the offeree becomes the offeror. Everybody write that down. A counteroffer is when the offeree becomes the offeror. It's a brand new offer, therefore the roles change, and he who is now giving an offer has his offer terminated, and a new offer is submitted to him or her. I'm thinking when we reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, we should have a big party and invite everybody who's a PrepAgent member to come, present and past members. What do you guys think? We'll do it at some awesome hotel in some awesome city. Here we go. Which of the following statements about options is false? A lease option is a unilateral contract. B, consideration must be given by the optionee to the optionor. C, the option binds the optionee to the performance. Or D, the optionee does not have the rights in the land. Probably in somewhere really weird like Idaho so that we could get like an affordable hotel. Okay, the answer is C. The option binds the optionee to the performance. Okay, so we talk about options. It cannot bind anybody because by definition, an option does not bind you to anything, so it can't be bilateral, right, guys? It has to be a unilateral contract, all right, because there's only one promise made. To be valid, a listing contract must contain all the following except A, a final contract price, B, signature for all the parties, C, legal description of the property, or D, expiration date. So Nick Zarata says, will this video be recorded? Nick, all these videos are recorded and they're accessible through your control panel on the PrepAgent website. So you just access your control panel, click on the webinars, and you can access the full library of videos. And the answer is A, final contract price. Remember, final contract price is what you go back and forth with and what the buyer and seller agree upon. The listing is just what gets the party started. It's what you throw out to the universe that you believe your home is worth. Nick's a first-timer. Any other first-timers here? Welcome Nick Zarate to the party. What other first-timers we got here? Any other first-timers? Which of the following is necessary for a real property conditional installment sales contract to be valid? A, consideration, offer acceptance, mutually competent parties, legally sufficient writing. B, consideration, offer acceptance, lawful object, competent parties, and legally sufficient writing. C, consideration, offer acceptance, express time element and price. Or D, lawful object, competent parties, offer acceptance, legally sufficient writing. Bibiana Franco, first timer from Utah. Welcome, Bibiana. And your exam's tomorrow. Hopefully it's one and done with us then, huh? Consideration, offered acceptance, lawful object, competent parties, and legally sufficient writing. Buenos suerte, Bibiana. A written agreement in which an owner allows an individual to use a property in exchange for rent and also gives that individual the right to buy the property for a specified price within a specified period. This contract would most likely be A, estate for years, B, estate at sufferance, C, lease option, or D, listing contract. And the answer is lease option. So just so we understand what a lease option is, it's when you rent a property with the right to buy it at a designated time. A lot of people do this when, let's say, a seller can't get the price he wants and a buyer maybe can't get financing. They don't have enough money to fully pay for a property they want. So the seller says, I want to sell it for 500 grand, let's say. Buyer says, I don't have 500 grand. And they says, would you pay 500 grand? Said, I would if I had the money. Will you have the money in a year? I think I will. So then the seller says, okay, well, I'll give you 500 grand. This is what you're going to do. You're going to pay me rent every month of $5,000 a month. And the buyer says, that's crazy. This thing's only worth $2,000 a month. And the seller says, yeah, but you said you'd buy it, right? Well, if you buy it at the end of the year, all that money you gave me for rent will go towards the down payment of the property. So no worry. But now if you're not telling the truth and you don't want to buy it at the end of the year, well, then you're right. I will keep all that money as rent and it'll be an excessive amount of rent. So if you buy it, we all win. If you don't buy it, then you lose. I'm keeping the money. Now, the buyer in that situation, who is now the optionee and the lessee as well, does not have to follow through the purchase. But if they don't, they'll lose a lot of that money. However, the seller, who is also the optionor and lessor, they have to follow through with selling it at the end of the year if the buyer wants to buy it. Doesn't matter if the market changes or if like a new football stadium is built right next door. It doesn't matter. And that's why that is a unilateral contract. Everybody got that? Right? Got it. Everybody right? Got it. I don't see you guys writing got it. You got it right, got it. Super important to me you write that. Thank you. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Appreciate it. If a lessee pays a fixed amount of rent plus all expenses, the lessee is known as A, gross lease, B, net lease, C, percentage lease, or D, graduated lease. What do you guys think? If a lessee pays a fixed amount of rent plus all expenses, the lessee is known as A, gross lease, B, net lease, C, percentage lease, or D, graduated lease. What is the answer? And the answer is B, net lease. I feel like we talked about this already. Right, guys? We don't need to talk about this again. A written purchase agreement has been signed by both buyer and seller. The Uniform Vendor and Purchase Risk Act states that until the buyer has either possession of a title to a property Responsibility for the physical condition of the property. A, remains with the seller. B, is given to a third party. C, is designated to the buyer who, upon signing, has equitable title to the property. Or D, is assumed by the seller's homeowner's insurance company. What do you guys think? And the answer is A, remains with the seller. Good. Who here could guess where I'm from based upon my accent? I don't have that much of a strong accent, so it'll be hard for you guys to guess. Who could do it? Who could guess where I'm originally from? What do you guys think? You're in New York, New York City, New Jersey, California, New York. I'll give you guys a hint. This will also give away my age. When I was a kid, I used to love watching Mookie Wilson, Darryl Strawberry, and Dwight Gooden with Keith Hernandez on first base. All sports fan knows I just gave away where I'm from. Okay, after this question, I will reveal the answer. What is it called when one person is substituted for another in a contract? A, subordination. B, rediction. C, novation. Or D, hypothecation. And the answer is novation. Nova is Latin for new. Nova is Latin for new. Nova is Latin for new. And the answer to that question, I grew up in what's known as the tri-state area in the Empire State, otherwise known as New York. And when we say the tri-state area, we're talking about Connecticut, New Jersey, and the suburbs of New York. And I grew up in an area called Westchester, New York, which is just north of the city. So all you guys were on it. All you guys in New York, you would be a great private detective. Okay, here we go. The buyer has been to be in default on a contract sale. If a buyer and the seller had not agreed on liquidated damage, the seller could do which of the following? A, require the buyer to find a substitute purchaser. B, sue the buyer for compensatory damages. C, obtain a court order preventing the buyer from purchasing another property. Or D, arrange for criminal proceedings against the buyer. Seems extreme. What do you guys think? Answer, sue the buyer for compensatory damages. I'm originally from New York, but I've traveled a lot since then. Okay, moving right along. If during negotiations one party crosses out or alters any wording in a contract, A, the whole contract becomes void. B, the party who didn't make charges or omissions becomes responsible for the deal. C, the document must be retyped. D, each party must initial the change in the margin for it to be valid. And the answer is each party must initial a change in the margin for it to be valid. A promise in exchange for a promise supported by consideration is the basis for A, valid binding bilateral agreement. B, a unilateral contract. C, multilateral contract. Or D, an offer to lease. And the answer is a valid binding bilateral agreement. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Joe from PrepAgent with Adrian. We will see you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. California time, 11 o'clock East Coast time, and you do the math wherever you are in between. I hope you had a good webinar today, and we will be back tomorrow. Try and support us on our social media like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever else you can find us. And with that being said, we're out for the day. That's right, Pat and Rick. Good times go fast. Thanks, guys.